Ross asks a question. This question pertains to goal and skill pairing. When it comes to training, most people who aren't trained athletes want to do everything at once. Yeah, I know that. I hear that all the time. The people who are in the worst condition, and it's just not my opinion, it's blood tests, it's what the skin doctor said, it's what they don't sleep, everything wrong. Those are the ones who want to do 50 things. They want to get stronger, add 10 pounds of muscle, drop 20 pounds of fat, learn kickboxing, train for a marathon, and look good naked. In your experience, what are the most effective goals and skills to pair? Bulking with strength, agility with speed, it's interesting, endurance with fat loss. If someone doesn't have any physical limitations and they want to improve their overall athletic ability, recognizing that everything cannot be trained at once, what skills and goals would you pair together for the most efficient program design, and how could you progress from one set of goals and skills to the other? Yeah, this is fun because if you read the Easy Strength Omni book, danjohnuniversity.com/bookstore, you'll go into this thing called the quadrants. And now the quadrants are my attempt to explain the impact of a strength coach. And frankly, in some cases, sometimes the strength coach has no impact on the success of a team. It's rare, but there are cases that can happen. So what I've discovered in my life, there are certain things. Now, that's why I like Easy Strength for Fat Loss, because what does Easy Strength for Fat Loss do? To me, it pairs the two things most people want, okay? So, or need. So we have a very simple strength workout, and I'll make it as simple as I can. 3 sets of 3 in the press, 3 sets of 3 in a pull, 3 sets of 3 in a deadlift, a set of 10 in the ab wheel, suitcase carry down and back, put the weights down, and go for a nice half an hour, 45-minute walk. What those two things do, the pairing there is this. You're going to get your heart rate up into those fat burning numbers. Weightlifting is great. It does raise your heart rate, and it gets you into that zone. You hear it called zone 2 sometimes. I usually call it the Maffetone numbers. Phil Maffetone. Guy changed my life. So for me, strength training and walking, zone 2. You can also do it with bicycling. People told me they can do it with swimming. I don't know how you would stay in zone 2. If you're a good swimmer, I guess you could, but for me, I flail. I did sprint triathlons in the mid-'80s, and boy, that would just raise my heart rate for days. I don't know how swimmers can slow down. I don't know. Okay, so for me, I think the biggest pairing would be strength and walking. So strength and zone 2, as we're calling it this week, or Maffetone numbers. Let's do that. Strength and Maffetone cardio numbers. Those to me are great ones. Now, with fat loss, that's fat. There's your fat loss there. From there, some people want to move from continuing to lose fat while building muscle or sculpting muscle, which, by the way, is the best way. If you want to look good, the best way to look good is to lose some body fat and add muscle. What's the 2 most difficult things I know for the human body to do? It seems to me, lose body fat and build muscle, but that's what most people want to do. I like what you're talking about here. This is some good ideas. For example, when it comes to something like I want to improve my speed, if you read Barry Ross's work, the sprint coach, or even Charlie Francis, you'll notice that strength training it works complementary, not complet, but complet with an E, with sprint work. And I think you can really improve your throwing and your sprint work by taking the weight room seriously. Not everything connects well. That's why I'm still such a big fan of a year-long or decade-long approach to things. And what's nice about your question, Ross, I think you and I are saying the same thing. I've mentioned my friend Ted before, and Ted is doing something I think is really a good idea. So in the fall, he's Olympic lifting, okay? Fall is a great time for discipline training programs. It's back to school and all that other stuff. So he's doing Olympic lifting. When winter comes around, he's going to slide into powerlifting. When the spring comes around, he's going to start focusing more on sprinting. And when the summer comes around, he's going to play. He's going to have some fun. He's going to do whatever he feels like. That's the kind of approach I think is best. So when you look at the pairing he's doing, so he's doing Olympic lifting, which by the way works really well with walking, Powerlifting, if you read Marty Gallagher, you'll find that heavy hands and rucking work well with powerlifting. Sprinting, you don't really need too much complementary work with sprinting, especially if you're doing repeat 400s. But you'll find that easy strength complements sprinting really well. And then in the summer months, just go to an old school bodybuilding program, 3 sets of 8 or whatever it is, and enjoy the fun. I think that's a great idea. So I know I didn't answer your question perfectly, but I would much prefer you looked at things either seasonally, cyclically, or even a bigger picture where you do a year or 2 or 3. I had a nice conversation with Brian today. He reminded me about some things. And he said, if I wanted to be somebody wanted to be a master's track and field athlete, how many years would it take them to be good? Well, it's going to take 4 to 8 years to be good. So when you're trying to chase all these different things, you never give any of those things the time to get good at. But no matter what age you are, 8 years from now is still going to be here in 8 years. So if you decided, for example, that you wanted to get stronger, add 10 pounds of muscle, drop 20 pounds of fat, learn kickboxing, train for a marathon, and look good naked, if you combined a few of those, like I think 10 pounds of muscle, losing 10 pounds of, dropping 20 pounds of fat would make you look better naked. Training for a marathon would, probably partner up well with strength training if you read your Percy Cerruti work. And adding 10 pounds of muscle, you could probably factor those in either cyclically with a seasonal approach or cyclically with a yearly approach. But you just sometimes have to be patient. You can't do everything at once. The great Stephen Wright joke, if I had everything, where would I put it? So good question. Thank you.